Ryan, unaona hizi picha kwa screen? Well, good evening, good people. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Allow me to start with a word of prayer. Thank you, Lord, for having us here this evening. I pray that this session is going to be engaging, enlightening, and also empowering. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. 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 Thank you so much, everyone who's joined in. I can see around 10 people are in. If you've not invited your friend, please go and invite your friends out there. My name is Sam Chalo, a financial independence ambassador and also a fire partner here at Savo. And today we're going to be talking about something really interesting. And it's something to kick off the year with a bang, yeah? You know, we need to start the year with very good habits so that we can build them as they end. I know everyone sets new year goals, new year, new me, but today I'm going to be teaching you something very, very practical, and I hope you're going to be learning a lot from this. So, but before I get there, it's a happy new year, yeah? We haven't met, I think it's been a month. Yeah, it's been a month since we saw each other on the screen, yeah, for everyone. So drop the fire emoji if you've just joined. I can see Michael Oyaro, Wanjiri is here, Donna Muiti, James Macau. Thank you so much, everyone who's joined in. Drop the fire emoji if you've joined in and invite someone, yeah, to come and join this session, because we are going to be learning a lot of practical things to get us started during this year, yeah. And also on top of that, we got some exciting news. So the past week, a couple of Savorites here made a trip to a very exciting place, a very, very utopian place, yeah. And we went to Dubai, yeah. We went to Dubai. So, and I was part of the people who actually went to Dubai. It was a very, very exciting trip. I think the biggest thing I can just say to summarize is scale. Those guys do things in the very, very huge scales that I've never seen before. Yeah, it was my first time out of the country, and I really, really got excited. For our investors who are in the diaspora, I know a lot of us are watching from very, very different places. Yeah, please let us know or invite us to those places so that we can do things as big as the things that are being done out there, yeah, and bring the world to Kenya, yeah. So let me show you a few photos. If you can just turn to your screens, a few photos of how Dubai actually was. So we went to quite a number of places. This was the Palm Jumeirah. We went to view that place, how it was, and our director today was the one taking the selfie, yeah, behind there. We also went to the Museum of the Future. That's me, let me shine kidogo. And then we also went to the tallest building in the world. Let me ask you, how do you go to Dubai and not go to the tallest building in the world? How? Yeah, so we went to the tallest building in the world, and it was, the experience is just really nice. I'm really finding it hard to put it into words, yeah. And we really got excited, yeah. So those are views from on the top there. That's us waiting, and also the three directors in Savo, yeah, taking a picture at the bottom of the Burj Khalifa, yeah, the tallest building in the world, which stands on top of the biggest mall in the world, yeah. So those are the things, those are the boundaries you're going to be crossing this year. Tallest, biggest, XYZ, you name it yourself. So let me see the number of people who've joined in as well. I can see Agnes, Charles, happy blessed new year 2023 to all of you. Thank you so much. Terian Chebet is also in here. Thank you so much for joining. I sent a broadcast to all my people. I made a resolution to be sharing with everyone, yeah, that we shall be live. So thank you everyone for joining, and everyone who's come from my broadcast channel, yeah. Me and my fans, Ozuri, thank you so much. 21 people. Let me know, drop the fire emoji as I start, and let me know where you're watching from. So today's topic, putting first things first, yeah? Putting first things first. And I think as the year begins, we got some rest, yeah? We got some rest during the December period for those who actually went to rest. And there are some of us who are actually resting right now. So we got some rest, and now that you're back to work, there are some of the things or some of the habits that we'd like to start, or probably we'd like to get into a more comfortable rhythm of life and progression of life. So we find ourselves very busy and confused and hectic for those people who are doing big things out there with a lot of pressure, yeah. And I know a lot of us who are here today are up to a lot of things, and what comes with that is a lot of confusion, a lot of crises here and there. Productivity sometimes reduces and organization is not there. So today I'm going to give you, or we are going to learn, yeah, we're going to learn something that is going to help us increase our organization and productivity. It's going to help us decrease the number of crises we have, yeah, the number of emergencies that we have in our lives. It will increase our reputation, or your reputation, for follow through, yeah. You want to be a person who's known as a reliable person, a person who actually follows through, yeah, and also in the end have more life balance and peace of mind. And finally, it will enable you to achieve financial independence. And what am I talking about today? Yeah, we are talking about the third habit of the 7 habits of highly effective people, and this habit is known as put first things first. Yeah, and if you know this book, please let me know in the comment section. Jane, I can see watching from Ruiru. Thank you so much, Jane, Tom, and Agnes. Drop the fire emoji and let me know where you're watching from as I go on. So, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. It's a very, very life-changing book. I've read it like twice, yeah, and it's a book that everyone who joins Savo actually gets to read. So if you haven't read that book, it's a very eye-opening, and it makes you an effective person, yeah? Effectiveness versus efficiency. So you decide. So the 7 habits, number 1 is being proactive. Begin with the end in mind. That is number 2. Put first things first, yeah? That's number 3. Number 4 is think win-win. Number 5 is seek first to understand so that you can be understood. And then number 6, synergize. And finally, sharpen the saw. All this might sound like very weird terms, but we'll talk about something that you will understand, and something that is very, very practical. So today we're going to be going through the workbook, yeah? The workbook of the 7 habits of highly effective people. And I can see the votes coming in. A number of us have actually read the books, which is really, really nice. Code King watching from Kigali. Thank you so much, Code King, for joining. So allow me to start by sharing the screen, and we'll go through the 3 habits. So habit number 3, sorry, which is putting first things first. So this is the habit of integrity and execution, where you need to do things and do things that are actually prioritized. So there's a quote here by Johan, and I hope you guys can see my screen. Yeah, there's a quote here from Johan. It says, "The things which matter most must never be at the mercy of things which matter least." Yeah. And the way this is an image of all the 7 habits. So when you learn the first 3 habits, you move from dependence to independence, yeah. And when you learn the other 3, the preceding 3 habits, which is number 4 to number 6, you move from independence to interdependence, which is where almost all of us want to get to. And then finally, you sharpen the saw so that you can continue being an effective person. So we are going to be diving into habit number 3. So what this book says actually, and this is the workbook, not the book itself. This is a workbook. If you need it, follow the link that's going to be sent in the comment section. What it says is for you to change your results, for you to change your life, there are 3 things. You need to start with changing your perspective, changing how you see things, yeah? And then next, after you change how you see things, you have to change your behavior. You have to build habits. And then finally, those habits will get you to the results that you want to get to. So you can do it backwards, whatever results you want to get to. What are the habits you need to build, and what perspective do you need to look the world through? So for you to be able to put first things first, the paradigm or the lens or the perspective you need to look the world through is putting important things first and not putting urgent things first. Yeah, important versus urgent. Which is more important? That's important versus urgent. Which one should you put first? Yeah. So the paradigm in which you should look the world through is put important things first. And we're going to discuss what is important actually. Yeah. What do you define important as? And the habits that you need to do, yeah, the habits that you need to take up is, number 1, focus on top priorities, eliminate the unimportant, plan weekly, plan daily. Sounds very simple, but stick around. You will learn something today. And trust you me, it's going to be helpful if you haven't read this. And of course, and then finally, the results you're going to get organization and productivity. Fewer crises in your life, you will get a reputation for follow through. Hey, come on, who doesn't want to be known for a person who follows through things? Are you the person in family gatherings who says, tutapatana, yeah, 28th, wallahi tutapatana, and then in the end, nobody follows up. Be the person that follows up, yeah? Build that reputation for follow through. Or even in your office, yeah? The people who come up with strategies and all, and nobody ever follows through with them, you end up 10 months down the line, and then there's a problem which should have been solved by that strategy that you could have implemented. So this habit is going to help you a lot. And finally, you get more life balance and peace of mind. So it's up to you to stick around. So you need to focus on top priorities. And this is where I was asking you now about important versus urgent. Yeah. So what this book says, as you can see on your screens, you have a time and you have a clock and you have a compass. Yeah. You have a clock and you have a compass. And what Stephen says in this book is that the compass is more important than the clock. And this is the reason, because where you're headed, yeah, is more important than how fast you're getting there. Yeah. Where you're headed, let me just read that again. Where you're headed is more important than how fast you're getting there. So you need to have a compass first before you even put timelines on anything. Where are you headed? You need to decide, where are you headed? Yeah. So the clock represents the appointments, schedules, and everything else. And the compass represents your mission, yeah, your direction, your values, and what you feel matters most. So for you, what is your compass? What drives the things that are actually important to you in your life? And this are just a comparison of what the compass and the clock do. So the compass will lead you to effectiveness because it will enable you focus on a mission. Yeah, it will enable you focus on a mission, and it will help you build relationships and focus on the important things. Because if you don't have a compass, you'll just be headed fast, but headed nowhere or headed anywhere. Yeah, and time will give you efficiency, of course. The clock, it will enable you create schedules and sometimes urgent things. So you need to have a clock before you first decide where you want to. You need to have a compass, before you decide how fast you want to get to wherever you want to get to. Sawa? Yeah, you need to put in your missions. You need to know what are your values so that you start heading in the right direction. So, and to enable you do that, we have a matrix here about On one side you have urgent, not urgent, important, not important, and I'd like people to vote right now. In which box should people stay on? So as you can see, they're labeled 1, 2, 3, and 4 in Roman numbers. Which is the most important? Which is the crucial? Which box should you prioritize? Which quadrant should you prioritize? Should you prioritize quadrant 1, which is urgent and important, or quadrant 2, which is not urgent but important, or quadrant 3, which is not important and urgent? Okay, and the last quadrant, which is not important, not urgent. I think we all know it's not quadrant 4, but which one should we be prioritizing as we put first things first? Because every day you need to put a list, or every week, of the things that you need to be prioritizing, and they must be in each of these boxes. So, and which box is that? Which box should we prioritize first? A poll is coming in the comment section in a few, but let me shout out a few people who've joined in. Thank you, Ben Wambisi. Reddit, it's life-changing. Thank you so much. There you go. Which quadrant should you prioritize? Let me see your votes coming in, guys. Evelyn, thank you so much for joining, watching from Kitengela. Salma Hussein, thank you so much for dropping the fire emoji. Cliff, Richard, thank you so much, guys. And if you've just joined, my name is Sam Chalo. I am a financial independence ambassador and also a fire partner here at Savo. And today we are talking about how you can put first things first so that this year you end up achieving the things you actually want to achieve. With 11 votes in, people are saying the box that they will prioritize is urgent, important. 64%. I can see that. And another group is saying important, not urgent. Sorry. So very nice, very nice. I like this. I like this. More votes, more votes. I can see it's starting to balance out. But number one, I can see nobody has voted for not important, which is really, really good. Thank you so much. You should not focus on that. You cannot prioritize unimportant things, yeah? So what the book describes important things are, these are activities that represent your values, your mission, and are high priority goals. Urgent things are just activities that require immediate attention. So a quote here by Stephen Wright, I watched the Indy 500 and I was thinking that if they left earlier, they wouldn't have to go so fast. I think that's a movie. I cannot relate to that quote. Let me not lie. So this is a sample of how you should put your list. We are going to get to how to plan weekly, yeah, and how to plan daily. But first, you need this box, yeah. You need this quadrant, and in the case, this is what could fall into either of those quadrants. And in my case, or what we teach people here at Savo, is that you need to stick to the important, not urgent box, which is the least voted box. Yeah, I can see the votes, all the 13 votes, 38% here saying important, not urgent. Yes, those 38%, that is where we need to stick to, because see, urgent things are not planned for. You haven't planned for them; they just come. Let me just read again how they have defined urgent in the book. Activities that require immediate attention. And if you put first things first, urgent things are going to totally reduce. So where you need to focus on is the important, not urgent box or quadrant. Okay, and there is where you need to live at, and in that place is where you will end up getting more life balance and peace of mind, because nobody is rushing you all over the place. And you might be wondering, okay, then there's a lot in this life. There's a lot of aspects that someone needs to cover, and it's really, really hard to cover all of them. Yeah, some urgent things might come up from things that you weren't actually thinking about. So there's something about that. But before that, let me just go through the examples that are shown here in the quadrant. So in the urgent and important box, this is where you have crisis, pressing problems, deadline-driven projects, meetings, and reports. Number one, you had a deadline. Why wait until it's urgent? Yeah, you see, and it's usually very, 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 very hard to do that. And I'm going to teach you how. And you see, by learning this habit, you want to reduce crisis. So the first quadrant is not a place you want to stick to. And then the quadrant number 2, this is where you have preparation, prevention, planning, relationship building, recreation, values, clarification. And I'm not even going to read what is in the not important quadrants, because you need to live north of the line. You need to live north of the line. Julius, thank you so much. She said, tuning in from Dubai. We were there last week, you guys. You could have met up. So you need to live north of the line. So this is how you begin your plan. Yeah, you need to plan every day. And remember, you need a compass and you need a clock. So right now, we are going to start with the compass. And by planning weekly, you need to plan before the week begins. So let me know, like, I'm a sucker for planning. I like planning a lot. I really, really like planning. I can spend hours planning before I get down into the doing, because there's this quote I read by, what's his name? Brian Tracy. It says that every minute spent in planning saves 10 minutes in execution. So you tell me, as an effective person, what would you rather do? So you need to plan your week before it begins. So I'm not as consistent, but whenever I get the chance to, or whenever I am actually ready to do it, I actually plan very, very often. So I plan my weeks and I plan my days. And some of the things have been borrowed from me. I was actually going through it today, and I saw some things that I could use to improve how I do my planning. So plan it before the week begins. Plan it someplace quiet and take around 20 to 30 minutes. And what should you do within those 20 to 30 minutes? Yeah. Number one, you need to review your mission and roles. Review your mission and roles. Sawa. And what are mission and roles? Of course, number one, you need to have a personal mission. What's your purpose? Yeah. What is your purpose? And then your roles will flow out of that. So you could play so many roles. So this is the aspect I was mentioning about, that some things or some aspects of life you might not have seen them coming, but they eventually come, or they come and bombard you, and then they become urgent all of a sudden. So with the roles that you play in your life, this is how you can actually plan for them or make them not urgent. So we all play many roles in this life. We could be, you could be a parent, you could be a spouse, you're a friend, an administrator somewhere, a leader, yeah, or a business entrepreneur. We all play different roles in this life, and we all need to look out in each of these roles that we play to ensure that we plan ahead. Yeah, because if you do not, you'll end up having important or not important and urgent things in that role that you could have planned on. Yeah, and remember, we want to put first things first so that we can be effective people. We want to put first things first so that we can be effective people and eventually achieve our goals. So lay out all your roles. And sometimes you might be lazy to sit down and plan your week. Yeah, you might be lazy to sit down and plan your week, but trust you me, it is worth every minute. Every other time or every other week that I've seen myself plan it out, or day plan it out, it end up being I end up being in control. I end up feeling very, very in control of the week, in control of the day, and nothing bombards me. And if your days if your days plan you, let me know in the comment section, or for those who plan their days or their weeks, please let me know in the comment section. So you first know what roles do you play. Yeah. Like for me, I'd write down, I'm a marketer, I'm a leader, I'm a servant, I serve at church, I'm a boyfriend, and also a brother and a son. So all these are roles that I actually play, yeah, in my life, and I need to plan for each and every one of them. If I don't, trust you me, you'll end up having unsatisfied sisters, unsatisfied brothers, unsatisfied colleagues, all those things, yeah. So just plan, you guys, you have to plan. So first, lay out your roles, yeah. Lay out the roles that you play in your life. And then second, you choose the big rocks. So you ask yourself this one big question: what is the most important thing I can do in this role this week? Just one thing. What's the most important thing that you can do in that role this week, yeah? So as a parent, what's the most important role you can do that week? Yeah, I'm not a parent yet, so I cannot relate. Yeah, as a brother, as a boyfriend, what is the most important thing you can do in that role that you play as a brother, as a leader, yeah, and as an entrepreneur, what's the most important role that you can play that week? Just one, and then write it down. Okay. So the big rocks, yeah, what the things that will consist of the big rocks will come from your conscience, yeah, what you actually believe or feel is important, your mission, yeah, your mission. What mission are you on? Do you have a purpose? Do you serve a certain purpose? And then your goals. Are you planning to become financially independent? Yeah. So if you're actually planning to become financially independent, what's the biggest thing? If it's payday, if that week coming is payday in there, what are the biggest thing you need to do? So you save a certain amount, put a reminder for you to save a certain amount. Yeah. So, and they can be tasks, appointments, or areas of focus. So, but you have to write them down. Remember, you have to write them down, each and every one, and all the roles. And please exhaust the roles. Remember, you're just writing one thing per role, and then after that is where you actually decide what is that big rock. Just ask yourself that one question. And recently, I was going through with my brother after reading Brian Tracy's book. I don't remember the name of the book, but it was asking us to write our goals down every morning. Yeah, write down our goals every morning. And I used to do this back then in 2018. I can see a friend of mine, Scott, is tuned in. He remembers those days. I used to write it in a very small book, and I could write what I want to become in the next 6 months, in the next 3 years, in the next 5 years. And I could write that every morning. Of course, I wasn't as consistent. I was looking at the date and I was like, hey, for some months I was very consistent, some months I wasn't. So I did it for like 4 months or so. And as I was going through it, I think what I noticed is that this thing got engraved deep into who I am. And some things I could have achieved, is just that by choice I decided to take a better path. Yeah, because for example, I had cars in there. Yeah, I wanted to have cars by now, but all I do is just go down the lift and I'm in the office. So do I have a need for a car? And I have a better place to take my money. Yeah, I'd rather have it work for me than buy an asset that depreciates. Yeah, so I was on the planning part. So it might be hard, but once you build the habit of actually every Sunday evening, just sit down, plan your week. What are the roles that you play? Is it work with your, if you're married, are you a parent? Do you lead a team of people? Because now your responsibility is, they are your responsibility. So plan everything and have the big rocks on that. And then there's a quote I liked here by Sir John Harvey Jones. And it says, the nicest thing about not planning is that failure comes as a complete surprise rather than being preceded by a period of worry and depression. Have you guys got that right? Yeah? Let me just read it again. The nicest thing about not planning is that failure comes as a complete surprise. Yeah? Failure comes as a complete surprise rather than being preceded by a period of worry and depression. So what would you rather do? Not plan or plan? It's a very paradoxical quote, yeah. And then as you schedule the week, we go on down now to which tools that you use. But scheduling the week now, you have to schedule the big rocks first, and then you can put in the 2 other meetings. Those big rocks, put in the date and time that you're actually going to apply them. So in your calendar, if it's going to be on a Monday, you're going to meet your team, and then on the Friday, on Tuesday, do the budget, have lunch with your brother or sister or your parent, yeah, or your wife. Play a game with your kids on Saturday. You need to put in those big rocks at the beginning of the week. Yeah, put them on the calendar, and then now everything else can follow. Yeah, because you've done the biggest thing in that role. You've chose the most important thing in that role for that week. Yeah, for that week. So and then after that, now you plan daily. Yeah, you plan daily because of course you plan for the week. Now you need to break it down further. So planning daily, you need to plan before the day begins. I either plan late in the night so that as I sleep, my mind gets prepared for whatever I'm getting ready for the following day, or very, very early in the morning. But it's not easy, let me not lie. I'm never like totally consistent. So sometimes I never plan. I find myself waking up at 7, but the days that I actually do end up being very good days, like today. Yeah, today, hey Janipanga. I've had I think 5 meetings, my friend. Yeah, from 8, but I was able to get up by 5:30, do most of the things, and then by the time I'm meeting people, I've done quite a number of things. So and now I still have to summarize all my meetings, put things in the to-do list. So yeah, still a lot to get done. That means an early morning tomorrow, and I pray for consistency from God. And then, of course, plan it someplace quiet, and then just 5 to 10 minutes long. So, and you have to plan it in order. So, what's today's appointment? If you had scheduled something for the week, is there an appointment today, like the meetings I had? You need to make the list realistic. You need to make it realistic because one thing with to-do list is that if they become very, very long, you might end up going into depression because you're not ticking off everything on your list. Yeah, they need to be realistic, and you'll actually look at it and say, okay, this I can actually accomplish by the end of the day, or this I'm putting too much on myself. And sometimes it may feel like you're being lazy or inefficient or ineffective, but it's actually the right thing to do. You'd rather complete those 5 tasks that you've planned, yeah, than having 10 tasks and ending up doing 2, because the next time you're looking at that list, you have a long way to go and it's already 4 p.m. Yeah, so you'd rather have just 5 than 10, yeah, and actually realistic tasks that you can accomplish. Kate here is saying, hi Sam, here to affirm the list of roles in your life that you shared. Thank you so much. Kate, we go to the same church with her. Thank you so much. Leo niko na mafans, you guys. Anyway, let's go on. So when you're planning the day, you check out for the appointments that you had made or that you have somewhere. Make it realistic and then prioritize. Yeah, in order. So you can see here someone in the sample here. There's a date night. There's a pricing committee. See, it's all the roles, yeah? It's all the roles that somebody has in their life. Then elements of an effective planning system. So the things that you need to do or to have so that this planning system can work for you, because it says here, all this, it requires not only discipline, but good planning tools, yeah? You can have the discipline to actually do this, but if you don't have good planning tools, because trust me, we all forget sometimes. I don't think there's anybody whose memory is that good. Yeah, we all forget, and if you don't have good planning tools, you might end up missing very important dates. You might end up missing very important meetings, and I believe none of us wants to do that. So you need to have very, very effective planning tools, and they need to have three key characteristics. Number one, they need to be integrated. All core 4 things need to be in one system: tasks, appointment, notes, and contacts. All of them, you need to access them either on your phone or on the notebook that you're using, or wherever it is that you access your planning from. Yeah. And then number 2, they need to be mobile. They need to be with you all the time. I think the phone nowadays covers all of these things, and then personalized, customized for your own needs. Yeah. For example, I was putting my lists down, I think yesterday and the day before. And I was trying to categorize the things from the different roles that I actually play in my life. And of course, there's personal and then there's work. And then inside personal, there are a lot of things in there. There are a lot of things in there that you can actually do. Like for me, the way I have actually segmented personal is there's spiritual, there's financial, emotional, intellectual, physical, and there's interdependence. Yeah, I want to get to interdependence. I want to learn all the other 3 habits after this 3rd one. Yeah, so that's the journey I'm on myself. So and I have everything on my phone. So I use the Notes app and the To-Do app or the Reminders app. The Notes app is where I have most of my personal stuff, and the to do the reminders app is where I have most of work stuff. So, and every now and then I go back to look at what I've done. And this year, what we've decided is we're going to look at all the things that we've planned every other month. So at the end of the month, look at what you had planned to do in each of these categories. Under physical, what had you planned to do? Under spiritual, what had you planned to do? Under financial, and tick every box every month so that we feel that we are actually making progress in this. So those are the 3 characteristics that your planning system needs to have. Yeah. So finally, for you to learn these things, and the book teaches us to teach so that we can learn. Yeah. So I'm teaching you, so I'm learning better. So and there's this thing you're starting with the FIRE movement, and I'd like to encourage you. Yeah. We are starting something called the FIRE Partnership Program. Still in the works, and those who are interested, please let me know in the comment section, or if I DM'd you, please let me know if you want to become a FIRE partner, because the best way to learn is to teach. Yeah, and the fact that we are actually here in front of these cameras teaching you guys, doesn't mean that we know that much, just makes us at a better place to learn better than you guys by teaching you. Yeah, so you can learn better by just teaching. So the FIRE Partnership Program is all about spreading the FIRE message. And when you look at groups of people, we all are in different communities, be it our church community, be it our work community, be it our family, be it our neighbors, the place we live, be it the people we went to school with or are going to school with. We all have different communities, and we find ourselves in groups. Even the introverts, you'll find yourself in groups in whatever way. What we want to encourage people to do is be the influence, yeah, and not to be influenced, yeah. Be the influence and not to be influenced, because in every group there's usually a certain bandwagon that they are following, yeah, and there's usually that one person that leads that direction, yeah. If you find yourself in a group that usually goes to drink a lot, there's that one person who is influential in taking you guys out. If you find yourself in a group that makes you guys read a lot or go to church a lot or do whatever it is, there's that one person, and you might be that one person. And we want to create a program for people who are going to make their groups invest a lot or become more financially aware. So that's what the FIRE Partnership Program is all about. But I'm going to be telling you more about that soon in the following webinar. So make sure you tune in. So that's pretty much all about the putting first things first habits, yeah. This is just the summary. Allow me to summarize. So effectiveness requires the integrity to act on your priorities. If you want to become an effective person, if you want to achieve your goals, you need the integrity to act on your priorities. So, and the very first thing we saw is that the compass is more important than the clock, because where you're headed is much more important than how fast you actually get there. Yeah. So, and then there are important and urgent things. You need to focus on the important and not urgent things. Yeah. So that you can eliminate the urgent things. All right. And anything that is not important, don't prioritize. Don't put it anywhere on your list. And then on that, you need to plan weekly. All right. With your roles, so that you can cover everything that you actually, every aspect of your life ideally, and then choose the big rocks in each of those roles. So as a leader, what's the most important thing that you can do this week in that role? Yeah. As a husband, as a wife, what's the most important thing that you can do in that role this week? Yeah. And then plan daily. So for the week and also the daily planning, you need to actually set aside time, some place quiet, so that you can focus and put your priorities right. And then finally, you can plan all you want, you can be as disciplined as you want, but if you do not have a good planning system, it won't work for you. And a good planning system needs to have 3 things. It needs to be integrated, needs to include all the 4 key things that could be in your list. It could be tasks, appointments, notes, or contacts. Yeah, it needs to have all of those things under one place. It needs to be mobile. with you all the time. So wherever you are, you need to go back to your notes or go back to your phone or wherever it is and see whatever you have up next coming. And then finally, it needs to be personalized, customized to your own needs. Like I mentioned, I use 2 key apps, the Notes app and the Reminders app. That's what I use. And of course, the calendar has a lot of information for myself. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. And I hope you guys have learned. Just to shout out a few people, Jane asks if there's a recording of the call. Yeah, you'll get this recording at the end of it. It's going to be on our YouTube channel. Just follow the same link you used to come into this video, and you're going to be getting it. Michael Oyaro says, interested in the Fire Partnership Program. Awesome. We will be launching it soon. So Michael, please be sure to watch our next webinars. The Fire Partnership Program is going to be about those people who want to influence their families, their colleagues, the people who they go to church with, the people who they go to school with, to start their journey to financial independence. Yeah, start their journey to financial independence, because every other thing that we end up doing in our cliques is influenced by someone. Yeah, and if you keep on following people, keep on following the bandwagon, this time you can actually be the leader. And we are going to equip you. We are going to equip you with everything you need to actually lead your clique, your family, your friends, your colleagues into financial independence. Trust you me, we're going to like you for that. All right. So as I come to an end, I'd like to finish with this quarter. We are focusing on this 7 habits thing and how it can actually enable you achieve financial independence. So we were able to come up with a very nice document that you'll actually like. If you haven't started your year with a bang, it's actually going to enable you to do that. And it's all about getting back on track. Yeah, we are from the holidays. I think some of us are still. I think this is the 60th day. The 60th day of of January, because you're actually mid-January. The link is going to be sent in the comment section, and you can download the Back on Track document. It's going to help you a lot plan this year. Yeah, it's going to help you plan this year and become an effective person. Come on, guys. Yeah, we are all supposed to achieve financial independence. That's why I'm speaking to you guys about this. So let's all start this journey and by downloading the Back on Track and share it with your people. Yeah, if you want to join the Fire Partnership Program, the first thing you can do to start that is just send them that Back on Track document. Download it yourself. They don't need to follow the link. You go download it, send it to them. Yeah, and be the leader in the group. Don't be influenced. Be the influence, guys. Be the influence, guys. So that's where I'm gonna end it for tonight. Yeah, I hope to see you next week. It's a very, very exciting year. After the Dubai trip, you guys, we saw just how much more we can be able to do. And I think for the people in Dubai, you guys, you should invite us there more often, or the other countries you think our heads could be opened. So yeah, this year is going to be an exciting one, and especially for the FIRE movement. Watch out for the FIRE Partnership Program, and to know about it, just join our next webinar. So have a good evening, guys.
Owning your first apartment in Nairobi has never been easier. It's simple. With 0 deposit and 0% interest rate, you can pay as little as 30,000 per month for up to 5 years. Just divide the price by the number of months you want to pay. Visit www.savo.ke to learn more.